Hi everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. We've decided to record from inside today because of the rain, but fortunately the sun's come out and it's given us a beautiful day. So as you start to feel the essence of our connection, you'll know beyond a doubt that you're in a different place altogether than what you were a few minutes ago. There's a sudden movement that happens each time we connect now, and it takes you to that special place where everyone knows everyone and everything fits perfectly, no matter what we may think or what's happening around us. So as we wander around in this special state, know that it's a place. It's physical. It is more real than the chair you're sitting in. It contains everything that's magic, and it produces miracles every minute. Even though we take a lot of things for granted, the magic that we see is more than just chance. It's all based on realistic existence of features that we've never noticed before. And each one of us has a total understanding of the magic that we bring into this world. It seems like you have to put an effort in at times to maintain yourself in this world. But once you can see that that's not the case, then it disappears. And you wonder how that can happen. That's part of the magic that you bring for yourself. No matter what you put in front of yourself, it becomes real instantly. So you used to talk about thoughts as the big thing that you control everything with. But we've gone beyond that. There's just something that you cannot explain that you can push out there and it will return miracles. It's nothing to do with thought. We don't have words for it. But in a fraction of a second, you can push something out there. You can call it energy, you can call it intention, you can call it whatever you like, but that limits it. It's a part of you that you're just starting to discover. It creeps up on you every now and then, and you become quite shocked at how brilliant you are. And then you track back and try and figure out what you did to make it all work. But in fact, you can't, because there's no return track. How can you trace back on a miracle? When something appears out of nowhere, how can you trace back and find out where the nowhere is? You can assume all sorts of things and come up with a solution that meets logic, but you can never apply it again. So as you just push that something out there, make it do whatever you wish it to do, there is no explanation, and it's never the same twice, and it's not retraceable, so you may as well just keep doing it. Every time you want to make something different, just make it different. You'll find that even the things that are happening in your own hometown, you'll only see the parts that are applicable to what you put out there. The rest will still happen, but you won't see it. You won't feel it. You won't even be involved. but the part of your life that you're putting into the world will appear in front of you instantly. One of the things that you'll notice is that everyone can move at whatever pace they want. And in doing that, you gradually get to where you're going at high speed all the time, even though you're sitting still. The power that you generate supports you in every second. And as long as you stir something up, it doesn't matter what it is, your engine starts. So each moment you just send anything out anywhere. Just tip something upside down. Just move your hands. Just blink your eyes, have a smile, flick your head or your tail, and you watch what happens. Your whole system turns on. Everything around you suddenly turns into your world. So you're no longer a visitor. It's your world. And it doesn't matter who is around you. They'll feel it, they'll enjoy it, and they'll know from the smile on your face that there's an interaction happening with someone somewhere in some space that's really amusing you. The further we go, the more we'll physically feel those inputs and outputs that come into our field at all different angles from all different places. But it will just feel like it's substance to you. And when I say send something out there, you'll just say, yeah, okay, and bingo, it goes. Because it's not controlled by the things that we've been working with. It's controlled by the mystery that's called life. The mystery that somehow you know how to work. And the mystery that, wow, I don't even have to do anything if I don't want to. I can just let all this happen. And it's true. That's why I call many of the things active energies. You can give them a task. You don't really have to follow up on it. You can just be happy in your world and leave all these little messages everywhere, every fraction of a second, and watch it gradually build, and it feels really solid and secure. And you just walk around like a fairy, Tinkerbell, sparkling everywhere with eyes that would light up in the night. As we move into discovering more about ourselves and what we can do, it's easy to invite yourself back into the physical world because you don't come back in the same path you went out on. And when you come in, you fracture all the control mechanisms that were keeping you in place before you left. And so you suddenly have access to the physical world from the side of magic. You suddenly can make things do what you want them to do. And it works physically. No thought, but the strength within you will just grow and grow and grow. And all the fear-based stuff will just disappear out of your life. You'll find that you can stand tall in amongst things that you would not even go near before. And when you do that, the world and everything in it physically changes permanently. So as you bring your gifts to the world, they're instilled in every particle, in every person's backyard, in everything everybody does. And suddenly the world starts to smell like flowers. Suddenly everybody starts to see the flowers and not the dirt underneath. It's like looking at the grass, nice and green and beautiful to sit on. If you dig down underneath it a little bit, there's a lot of crawlies that you really don't like. But they exist, and you see the grass. When you wake up of a morning, there's no need to do anything except get up. This is one of the very, very best things that comes out of all of this, because you immediately know you're fully supported. You immediately know there are millions of inputs and outputs that are bringing everything new to you in the moment that you wake up into the world. And as you see in that first second, it is exactly what you have coming through the day. If you see a young child get out of bed happy, ready to play, they have a great day. If they get out of bed and they're miserable, you tell them to go back and try again. Because otherwise, you're not going to be able to handle them through the rest of the day. We haven't changed. This is all part of the exercise of being in the physical world. To see the miracles happen in a fraction of a second, as soon as you open your eyes, as soon as you look around, as soon as you talk, as soon as you communicate in any way at all, even if there's nobody around. The sensation of your own being will entertain you totally every minute of your life. And if it doesn't, you're not in the right world. You just step out of where you are and step into the right one. It's just like putting another coat on. You say, that feels better. And your whole system changes. It's like a lady getting dressed up to go out. They look in the mirror and say, that's no good. And they do it 50 times and then come back and put the first one back on again. And say, that's better. Because it's not anything to do with the total physical part. It's the combination of the physical and the glow and the response you give to yourself. If you hadn't gone through that exercise, you wouldn't have felt happy with how you look, and so you have a miserable time. The second you feel happy with how you look, even the dress changes. You say, oh, that's not too bad. It really is nice. So with everything that I'm talking about, remember, there's no method, but it's with you all the time. Use it. And when someone says, well, what do I use? You say, everything. Don't care what it is, where it comes from, how you get it, use it. But I need a method. No, you don't. Just use it. It's a little bit like walking. You don't have a method after a while. You just walk. Or you get up and run or whatever. You don't give yourself instructions. You just do it. And if you're going to move from the chair you're in across to a table to pick something up, you don't even consider how to get there. You just go and pick something up. All the process in the middle is already programmed in, and you didn't have to control it. All you had to do was decide an end result. That's to pick up something from the table. So all the part I'm talking about is automatic and very, very powerful. So if you see an end result and just go for it, all the rest will fall into place. If I go back on picking up something from the table and you start to go through all the processes, I have to get out of the chair, I've got to keep my balance right, I've got to make sure I don't trip, and then I shouldn't walk too fast, and you'll go crazy. You'll just stay in the chair. This is exactly the same with everything in life. As we now can go anywhere, be anywhere, and know that we're in all places at once, we don't have to go and learn it again. We just had to expose ourselves to the fact that we could. So the first time someone proves that they can hold their hand out and something appears in it, everyone will say, oh, good, and they'll start doing it. Any exercise that you like to show people, as soon as they see it, they say, oh, great, I can do that. So the little barrier that was put in because of space and time is actually now usable, because you can change space and time just by deciding. You can go to the beach while you're driving your car. You can visit someone while you're out weeding the garden. You can be flying all around the world and sitting back in the lounge chair at the same time. And it physically happens. Even researchers are so surprised that people can focus on a flower from 1,000 miles away and either make it bright or get it to close down. But it physically happens. And for a long time, we thought that was something called psychic. But in fact, it's you in two places at once. And every time you want to make a difference in someone's life, you just do it. You don't think about it. You don't consider it. You just do it. And it doesn't force anything on anybody. This is the biggest part of the beauty of the interaction with your Creator. It doesn't put anything on anyone, and it doesn't force anybody to do anything. It just enhances whatever they have. It enhances everything. And many times it's like the child with the broken glass. To stop them touching it, you point in the other direction and say, oh, look at that over there. And you quickly rush in and get the glass out of the road. If you can see that a slight change of focus is all someone needs, you just change the focus. And they'll walk away from the problems they've got. Because they're not real anyway. They can be swept up, thrown in the garbage, and never seen again. The first thing that you're going to get used to is the interaction with everything that's not visible and physical in your everyday life. Because it's starting to get physical. You'll even find that if you go to walk somewhere you'll feel like you're bumping into them. Because we're all becoming so close that our physical system is starting to direct us around the objects we used to walk straight through. And there are many objects, many formations of all sorts of things sitting in the world that have a sign up that says don't walk through here. And you can feel that. You'll know that even walking across a room, you know exactly where to walk. If someone tries to get you to walk another place, you'll hesitate for a bit until you've found a clear path. Notice that more and more, and you'll find you don't get involved in the other worlds that exist at the same time and tend to distract you. They will actually change your direction as you're walking. And with the sensitivity that you've now got, there's a courtesy even in the unknown. And you all make space for one another, and you all go at the pace that you feel comfortable at, and that's never the same twice, because you're interacting and you're moving through and around people and things in accordance with the perfection of the being that you are. It's a little bit like a magnetic field. You can feel yourself moving to the right places as the field changes. I can assure you it's a lot of fun knowing that everything is active and alive, even though you can't see it. And after a while, you'll get flashes of seeing things, and you'll just smile. And it won't be long before we do just hold our hand out and make things appear. Because that's the natural progression. We have this in our genes. It's our ability. Because it's only a matter of getting a few things aligned and then slowing down the process a little, and then all of a sudden it appears. Just like if I slow things down, you can feel my hands move, because I've slowed things down such that it gets into the range where you can feel. And it's not my hands doing it, it's a projection from my hands. And all that other stuff that mixes together and forms the world around you. If we decide to change the pattern of events in the world structure, it will change. If we decide it has to be malleable, it will change. If we decide we'll cancel radioactivity, it will change. Sounds like a big statement, but it's not far off, where we'll all just take that on and everything will change. Objection has got part of the way, but the rest of the way is to do it yourself. And do it with the certainty that you would just get up and go over to the table. Nothing more than that. So we're delving into that program that I I often speak about called simplicity. It's the most complex, high-level language in the universe. The simpler you make it, the more it can access. It's like you press the A key on your computer, it does all those things and sticks an A up on your screen. But you didn't have to do all those things because the high-level language is your keyboard. Or going a step further, speech. We're about to actually use all those inputs and outputs that I'm talking about that got bundled under the name of emotion. And we're going to use them in a constructive manner to actually present our gifts to the world. And many of our gifts are beyond belief. And they're endless. If you could express one fraction of what you're going to present, you would be overwhelmed yourself, because you never give up. You never back off. A single instruction lasts forever. A positive movement in any direction goes forever. And the precision that each one of you has is about to show itself. It's best described as elegance. And the elegance of your being is such that it holds everything at its highest level, with a respect and an honour that's beyond anything we've ever been taught. When we talk to beings from other places, they share respect that you can't believe. And we wonder, how did they develop that? We're the same. It's not developed, it's inherent in every being. And it doesn't take anything to bring it to the top, except constant awareness of the beauty of every being and every creation. If I look at the sky every day and attempt to see even the spaceships and the things that people say they can't see, I quite often have to blink to stop seeing them, to stop seeing that little glimmer, that little change in density that is there for us all the time. And you see a movement even though you can't even pick it up with your camera. So hopefully it won't be long before you all realise that the things you sense are as real as the things you can take a photograph of, and sometimes more. So we'll just now have a little break, and we'll leave you in that mode of sensing everything that's around you, because it's that sensing that actually drives simplicity. Thank you. We're back in about 5 minutes. Enjoy. Welcome back. One of the greatest experiences I ever had in my life was waking up suddenly and realizing that I wasn't the person that I was acting out. In that second, the program of simplicity turned on, and the trees started to speak to me. The wind, the sun, and everything around me started to communicate. My physical body changed, and everything about my life changed. I believe this is what's going to happen to everyone. What is here for you is far, far in excess of anything you could possibly imagine. And I experience something new every day, without a doubt, every minute as well. You don't have to be devoted to anything. It just stays in contact all the time. And when I say it, it's everything. There's not a moment where you're left alone, and there's never a moment when you can despair about anything. Even if you feel your body get hurt, the hurt doesn't happen at the time. The hurt happens as you start to think about it. We're totally looked after in every minute, as long as you keep moving on. As long as you follow the path of simplicity. And as you follow that path, it directs you. Even though it seems the other way around to the mind. The flow of everything in your being is reflected in your body. And as your body responds, so does the world. And the interaction is so profound and physical from everything that it's sometimes really hard to keep your breath. The further we go, the further it will take us. There's never a need for proof in my world. It's just there. It's always there, no matter what. If I want to see something on the other side of the world, it appears in front of me. If I want to be there, I go. And many times it looks like I've vacated my body, but it's just having a rest because I'm very busy all the time. Some of the things that lock you into the format of the world that you're in the physical world, tend to take your focus. One of the rules of simplicity is you have no focus. You just take it all in and you let it go to where it's got to go. It's just like fill the bucket and let it overflow. It doesn't matter. Just keep it all flowing and you'll go to wherever you have to go. And everything around you will go to where it's got to go, even if it's down the drain. Doesn't matter. The outcome is always known because in a fraction of a second, you know you're going to pick up something off the table. You just know. You don't have to plan it. You don't have to get ready. You don't have to think about it. It's just, and you do it. And on the way, you might do a dozen other things. And there'll be things that would normally have taken half a day But because you're using the interaction with the simplicity, it just shifts everything around, organises it, makes it so that it's done in almost zero time. We can play with all the components of what we're talking about, but there's nothing better than living the total package. And that's why it's no use asking how this, how that, how do I put it together, where does that fit? I'll just say, just do it. Get on with it. And initially, you'll feel the habit of reaction, but then you look past that because it tries to make complexity in your life. But the higher level language is simplicity. So you just surpass the complication. You don't get inside your computer and try and follow the electrons around. You just press the button and walk away, knowing that it's already done. In various actions throughout the day, we find that we have to concentrate, or it seems like hard work. Once again, one of the rules of simplicity is if it's hard work, you're doing it wrong. Or maybe you're doing something that you don't need to do because you're in the complex area where it's simple. So the format that you can take on is one of totally free flow, non-resistive free flow about everything. And then the inputs and outputs are free to work with your personal supercomputer that suddenly flourishes because there's a joy in your heart and a big smile there as well. And nothing gets in your road. It happens to you instantly in life, and it goes on forever. So simplicity itself has many definitions, but that's just the word. The program, simplicity, is a very, very advanced way of communicating, way of surpassing time and space. And every one of you have access to it. And it will program itself based on your instant movement of throwing it out there to go and pick something up, or to do anything, or to just disturb a little bit of time, or to have a joke, or anything, you know, blink your eyes, look funny, do anything, boom, it's there. That's how you switch it on. If you watch a lot of the movies where they have a magic wand and they just wave it, everything changes. You can wave anything. Just even see it waving. Boom, program of simplicity, and your supercomputer are all in line, waiting there, ready to go. We've been playing with a lot of stuff that proves that all this exists in everyone's life, where we've been nanocoating materials in accordance with the research of the Keshe Foundation. But we've been going off at a bit of a tangent and making sure that we're making available to everyone that sense of universal energy. And we've made the plasma beacon so that you can feel that the movement of plasma that each one of us can generate. And as you get used to it, it's just like being with the master. You don't have to do anything. It all starts to grow so that you're feeling like you're a universal being. You're feeling you can reach out and touch someone on the other side of the world. You're feeling your body saying, I have to change. And it's getting stronger and without fear. So all the things that used to be a worry to you start to disappear simply because we've activated the science of plasma. There's much more to come, but being exposed to a new way of being and a new way of science is actually bringing us all along very, very quickly. And when small things happen, they're easy to fix. A couple of weeks ago, I caught my hand in the part that slides up and down on an umbrella, and it caught this part and just about turned it purple, made my eyes water, I can tell you. Within minutes, I used Barbara's nano wand. It went back to normal. It's so much easier if you've just got a little aid. When everything's running correctly for me, I can put everything back to normal anyway. But when you're in the physical world and you're working and you haven't got the time and you're actually a little bit frustrated because you caught your hand in something, just to have that little assistance was enough. Fix it and let me get on with my day. Everyone has access to this. It's over the internet everywhere. And shortly we'll be publishing what we build so that you can either build it yourself or you can get us to do something. But the big thing is, if it doesn't have that sense of simplicity, it won't access the program of simplicity. If it becomes too complex, or you have to get it right, simplicity is out the door. So there's no method, there's no how do I use it, there's no instructions, but we can tell you how we made it. And with it, there's a major sense of simplicity. And I never work on anything like that unless the time and space is perfect. So I may have to wait for 2 days, and then I can work for 10 minutes and it's done. But in those 2 days, everything's being conditioned and built so that simplicity is the only thing that emanates from the wand. And the beacon is exactly the same. We're now actually in the process of building the Maggrav power supplies, which is a plasma power supply that you can actually run electricity from. So we're about 2/3 of the way through our first one. And these are the things that Keshe Foundation are selling, and we still have ours on order. But I think we'll probably have one working, or maybe two, before we get the original. So there's a lot of fun in just going with what comes to you, and know beyond a doubt that you know just as much about it as the person who put the design together. You'll be directed through that program of simplicity to make it work. Just like you can visit your favourite place anytime you want without moving. So eventually we'll be in a position where every one of us has access to one another to the level where we don't have to learn anything, where we can just experience and then keep going. And the only reason you'll experience somebody else's method or world or whatever, so you can find your own. For no other reason. And even your computers will work the way you want them to through the program of simplicity. Sounds a bit freaky, doesn't it? But it's true. We have access to all the things that feed the computer. We have access to all the signals. And when you get around my little laboratory workbench, it's almost a waste of time trying to use your phone, because it'll just turn off. Sorry, poor signal. Yet all around the house and everywhere else is not a problem. And we don't have anything happening except plasma beacons, and where we're constructing our stuff. So it's going to be good for everyone to get out there and have a look at what's being done scientifically. Do a little bit of kitchen experimenting and get yourself used to being able to build what you have come from, and that's the plasma itself of the universe. There are many descriptions of plasma, but the one we're talking about, we know about. And there is no doubt. We all know about it. And that's what we actually build a universe from. And there's no reason why we can't build lots of physical things from it. So we go through the experimenting stage until we can see that it happens, and then all of a sudden we start to do it by ourselves. So we're doing that process, and I'm sure everybody else will enjoy doing the same thing at some stage. It's just so natural and so easy, and it makes life very, very interesting. I think that's about all that I've got at the moment. I just want to make sure that that program of simplicity is held as the functioning part of your personal supercomputer. Know that it's true and know that it's universal. And know that it's also what provides the internet, what provides all the new cloud, what also provides communication to satellites, communication beyond there, and the communication between us. And it's called simplicity. So enjoy that and stay with it. And we'll be back again next week. Thank you. Bye for now.